Welcome to Queer Conversation. In the virtual studio with me today is Brisbane singer and songwriter Hope D. You have been working on your album that is about to be released in February. Your first single that you pushed out in 2019 was a single called Swim, a real success and a real good start for your career. I'd like to go one step back. You were 19 at the time. So what's your journey from what you did before? Did you do a lot of live music, busking? How did you come to have this first release and coming out with a smash hit?
Thank you. Well, before that, I was working at a few hospitality jobs, but I was also doing cover gigs. So I was working at a bunch of bars and cafe, just doing cover songs or just like background music for a really long time, which was really good because it gave me a lot of paid practice, but it also took a lot out of me. But I did that for years and years, and I think I only stopped doing that in 2021 was my last time that I did that. And that kind of got my name out there a tiny bit because people could look me up if they liked what they were hearing. But I hadn't released music properly under my name, Hope D, until May 2019, I think it was. And when I did that, I had like a tiny bit of a following. And also my friends and family supported me a lot. And it was just a very slow, snowball effect from there. And I kept releasing music. But Swim is what my first song was, and it created a lot of traction and got me a lot of followers, and a lot of people could relate to it. So it was really good to start off with that one for sure.
Your first couple of songs, were they based around identity and sexuality?
Yeah, Swim definitely was. That was about coming out. But then after that, the whole EP is a bit about my first EP that came out after that. A lot about relationships and love. And then I also had a song called Common Denominator, which was about only dating someone else because they're also gay and you don't have anything else in common with them. So a little bit about identity and sexuality, but mostly just about my life experiences and that kind of thing.
I did read about that. And that is so true. And in one way, like friends try to match you up with someone and you kind of go for it. I guess especially you were saying that you were quite kind of isolated. You didn't know any other gay people or queer people, which is kind of very hard to believe in Brisbane. You've got quite a good gay scene. Is it different now for you?
Different now for sure. But at the time I was really young and I went to an all girls private school. So it was just, there was no one. There was literally no one, or at least they weren't out about it. So it was really hard to get into the scene. But I only got into the scene, the queer community, when I first got into uni. So first year uni, and then you'd go out, you'd meet a bunch of people, and it was still really slow for me. I feel like I didn't find my actual group or a queer community until probably only a few years ago now. So it was a very really long time coming. But that's why I went through things like dating someone else just because they're gay, and we had nothing in common except for being gay.
How did your fan base react to, especially in your earlier songs about identity coming out? Was that a positive experience or did you have some negative comments?
Surprisingly, I've actually not really come into contact with too many negative comments or negative people, which I'm so grateful for. But a lot of my followers pretty much came from me talking about my identity and coming out, because I didn't get any negative feedback. In fact, I got the complete opposite about writing songs about identity and more vulnerable topics. So I think my fan base and my followers definitely know what they have signed up for. I think they know all about me, and I think they can relate to that a lot, which is really cool. And it is really surprising. I'll be playing, I remember playing Swim, so about coming out and being gay and feeling like you don't fit in. I was playing that at the Foundry in Brisbane, which doesn't exist anymore, but it was for a big sound showcase. So this local music festival that happens every year. And Swim was the only song I had released, and we were playing it. And there was just this massive group of just very big, straight looking cis guys. And they were just screaming it and jumping up and down, loving it. And I was like, do you know what this song's about? But it was such a nice feeling because obviously they didn't hate it, which was really cool. So I feel like they like the music and they're okay with it all, you know. It's pretty awesome.
Have you played at gay lesbian festivals?
Yeah, they used to do events, and I think they still do actually, like events in Brisbane and Sydney, Melbourne. I'm sure they do them still and like just everywhere in Australia. And it's just like a networking or like friend or like dating event where you can just meet people and stuff. And I played at a few of those. But other than that, nothing else is really ringing too much of a bell. I nearly played in Sydney, this Mardi Gras event, but I got sick and I couldn't fly there, which sucked. But that was 2 years ago, I think now. But yeah, other than that, nothing too hectic. But I'd love to play more.
I listened to a couple of different songs, and it was hard for me to really pin down a style. How would you describe your style?
Yeah, it's very different, I think. And they're all a bit different to each other, like all my songs. But I used to describe it as just like indie pop rock, I guess, or like cynical, upbeat, sad pop rock, I guess.
You are still young in the scene, really, so you would expect also that you are developing your style as well. And I think when I speak to musicians that have been touring for a long time, they also were telling me that their style for the latest EPs especially changed after COVID, which was really interesting. So you don't really have that, or do you have that experience that your style did change after COVID?
Yeah, to be honest, I think it went a bit more poppy after COVID, and like catchy and succinct and less draggy on, I guess. Like it kind of more concise in my songwriting and stuff, with the help of like collaborators and co-writers. So I think after having songs that are like, all my songs used to be so long too. I used to release albums on Spotify under my full name, which is Hope Deftros, and they're just terrible songs because they are recorded on a terrible app on your computer called Audacity, and I didn't know what I was doing when I was recording it. And some of the songs are like 6 minutes, and I'd put out albums that are 6 minutes each song, and it's like, why would I do that? I don't even want to listen to them. Like, who else would want to listen to them? So it's good that I finally like cut down a bit and made it a bit more palatable and digestible.
So let's talk about your album that you're about to release, Clash of Substance. So it's a very curious title. Can you tell us a little bit about the title and what inspired you to create this album?
Yeah, well, Clash of the Substance is a lyric that's said in one of the songs in the album. It's called Senseless. Senseless is the song, and the chorus goes, "Clash of the substance, I want this. Make me so numb and unconscious. Easier to feel for her when I'm passed out." And the concept of clash of the substance is meant to be just like a bunch of different things clashing in your life, whether that's like relationships, drugs, alcohol, ups and downs, just like everything that you kind of go through, especially as a young adult. And, you know, it's like a big chemical experiment or like a big cocktail, like two things like bashing together can create a completely different reaction than the other two things, or just everything all together. You just it's a lot about like emotions and how if you're in a bad place, the bad things hit harder, and if you're in a good place, the bad things can hit a bit less harder, and that kind of thing. But yeah, the inspiration for the whole album, it's basically just a bunch of songs that I've been sitting on for years and years and years, and I haven't recorded them. And then I finally got the opportunity because I won this grant, the Carol Lloyd grant, which gave me money to record an album, which I'm so grateful for. And it came at the perfect time because I wanted to finally record all these pieces of work, and they kind of just worked pretty well in an album, and they kind of complement each other, and I just decided to do it, and it's recorded and now it's coming out. So I'm so excited about it.
Congratulations. I mean, it is your debut album, so it's always a big step, isn't it?
Totally, absolutely.
Is there a music video we could play?
Maybe Senseless?
Okay, let's listen to it.
I really hate to admit this, and I know I'm gonna be rude, but I'm spitting out our relationship, and you still say it's something that I never chewed. But I chewed it till it was dust, until my teeth had to be replaced. But you and I are like nails that have rusted. For the record, yeah, I fucking hate the taste. You drained me till I was hollow, so so I filled myself with those pills I swallow. Yeah, you drained me and now I'm hollow. I guess I'll fill myself with cash of the substance I want. This make me so numb, then unconscious. Easier to feel for when I am paused out. Within all my medications, leaving her no explanations. It's harder to deal with her when I am without something that'll make me numb, something that makes me become so fucking senseless. Cause I'm so uncommitted. I took my blood and I stained it just to stay entertained. I took a pill or two and then I got addicted. But I got addicted to the way that it felt to put something else above you. And if we hadn't have met, then I would probably be well, and I guess that I would be sober too. You stained me and I can't forget this. Yeah, you rid me of all of my senses. Ooh. Me and I'm now defenseless. I guess I'll thrill myself with crash of this substance I want. This make me so numb, then unconscious. Easier to feel for when I am paused out. Breathing on my medications, leaving her no explanations. It's harder to deal with her when I'm without something that'll make me numb, something that makes me become. Yes, it hurts and the fall fucking killed, and the vanity caused a sting. But I wanted to feel something other than guilt for not feeling a fucking thing. I guess I am pretty reckless, and it's pretty difficult to bruise me. But the loving was stupid and numbing and senseless. It made me so fucking woozy. I guess I'll chill myself with crash of the substance I want. This make me so numb and unconscious. Easier to feel for her. Now I am paused out. Leaving all my medications, leaving her no explanations. It's harder to deal with her when I'm without something that will make me numb. Yeah, something that makes me become.
With this release, you are going on tour, and is that your? Tell us a little bit about the tour, and is that your first tour you're going on?
No, it's my, I think it's my third tour, but it's my second with my band, because I've been on tour once as a soloist, and I went to a few places in Australia, and that was my first time going to some of those places, which was really cool. And then last year, my band and I toured to a lot more places. So this one's only 5 places, but yeah, I'm taking my band, which is now a 4-piece, and going on tour with the Dandies, who are a local band in Brisbane, and Asher Jeffries, who is also a local musician in Brisbane. So it's going to be really, really fun, and we're going to have a really good time. I'm really excited for it.
Who would you love to play with on stage from another Australian musician? Who are your heroes?
Another Australian musician. Man, there's quite a few. I'd love to play with the boys. I still haven't played with the boys yet. And other than that, Teenage Jones are an incredible group from Australia, and Teen Jesus and the Gene Teasers, and yeah, a few others. I'll definitely think a bit more. It's always a question that everyone that I've ever heard leaves my brain when I get asked, but there's so much incredible music coming from Australia, and it's a really nice community too. Like, we're all good friends, and it doesn't feel very competitive, but it just feels very like a safe community, and it's so much fun to play together. We all have a really good time when we're on the same lineups. But yeah, definitely those guys, and there's absolutely heaps more for sure.
How can people get tickets and for the tours? How can people download the new EP It's coming out on the 10th of February, and also your social media. How can people follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram as Hope D Music and Facebook as Hope D Music. And my album will be out on the 10th of February, so you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, pretty much wherever you can stream anything. And tickets to my tour coming up, it will be all on my website, so hopedmusic.com.
Great. Well, Hope, thank you so much for joining us in Queer Conversation today, and all the best for anything that you do in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.